$15,000. That is the average that you make on a real estate wholesale deal. That's nationwide across the country. And in this video, I'm going to break down the 3 steps that you need to take to not only do that deal, but to do it over and over and over again. But before I get going on those 3 steps, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be some questions that are going to bubble up. And we have almost 1,000 videos breaking down every single part of this process of this business. So hit that subscribe button. All right, let's break down the 3 steps. Now, the first step is going to sound really obvious, but a lot of people want to overcomplicate this. The first step is find ugly houses. Seriously, I'm talking about driving for dollars. I'm talking about getting in your car and going around your community, going around your city, your town, whatever it is, and finding the ugliest properties, the properties that need the most renovation, the properties that need the most love, right? Because the fact is, here's the facts. There's 141 million properties in the United States, okay? And at all times, 6 to 10% of them are in distress, whether that be physical distress, whether that be financial distress of the owner, or emotional distress of the owner. All right, think about this. Think about if you have an old car, right? And you haven't really changed out the tires, the paint is chipping, the inside, the leather's all cut up, right? You want to just kind of get rid of that, right? Or if you go to trade in your car when you're buying a new car, you know that they're not going to give you the full value of it, but speed and convenience really play a factor. You just turn it in so that you can get the new car and go on with your life. That's why people sell at a discount. They do the exact same thing with property. You just have to get in front of them. And the best way to do that is collect a list of all the addresses in your community that need the most renovation. That's where you're going to get the biggest and the best opportunities. So you literally just go in your car, drive around, and you can literally, what I did when I first started out, my first 20 deals, I would write down the address on just a notepad, and then I'd go home and do research on my computer to find out who owned those. Now you're kind of spoiled now because there's apps for this. Dealmachine.com. Deal Machine is an incredible app for this. I have a link for it down below with a discount for this channel. It's absolutely incredible. It does all the work for you. It shows you who owns it, how long they've owned it, how much equity they have. Is it occupied or vacant? It's absolutely incredible. It's bananas. Make sure that you check that out, and it's really affordable. But either way, if you want to keep your budget at 0, you could literally still just drive around and write down these addresses. A lot easier with an app. And then you're just building, and you're building and building and building. You're building a really nice list of all these little golden nuggets that are sitting out there in your community that you can go after. All right? Because if you go after everybody, you're going to waste a lot of time. You have to laser focus. Like when you have a magnifying glass, if you're just waving it around, it doesn't do anything. But when you focus on it, that's when it starts to heat up. It's the exact same thing. We need to focus on the 6 to 10% of the market that is in distress at all times, and that's where we go to have quality conversations with those property owners. Got it? The second step is you need to get an accurate phone number for that property owner. Now, listen, there's a lot of free sites that you can go on to and plug an address in and get a phone number. And honestly, sometimes they're right, but it's about 30% correct, 30% accurate that you're going to get the right phone number. That's why I highly suggest do that. If you have no budget, just put it in, go to, find a phone number, put it into the search and call every single number that's on there, or go to batchskiptracing.com. They do a phenomenal job of pulling in all of the most accurate phone numbers, and they're updated all the time. So batchskiptracing.com. And it's absolutely critical that you get the right data, the right phone numbers, because I'm telling you, nothing is more brain damaging than making a lot of calls and dedicating your time, especially if you've already got a job or if you're trying to fit this in and it's your side hustle and it's going to take over and be your full-time business. It's really frustrating if you're making calls and you're not getting in contact with anybody that you're trying to get in contact with. So listen to me. It is a huge mistake if you don't pay for the data. It doesn't cost much. It's a fraction, but just go to batchskiptracing.com. Get the right phone numbers so that you can start talking to the people right away. It's going to make a huge difference. All right, step number 3, call them. Literally, step number 3 is pick up the phone and take the action. You need to have a quality conversation with a distressed property owner. Let me tell you this. I don't know a single person that consistently has quality conversations with distressed property owners that isn't wildly successful. It's just a fact. It's just a numbers game. It's math, right? If you talk to enough people that own these properties and you have a quality conversation, you win. You absolutely win. It's just doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to break down all the numbers so that you can have some real accurate expectations of what's going to happen when you start making the calls. I'm going to break it down on the whiteboard here, but it's just about being brave. It's building up the courage to start calling and talking to strangers. And I am telling you, I am challenging you to just get into the rhythm. Call for 5 minutes and stop. Then go for 10 minutes, stop. 15 minutes, stop. 30 minutes. Build up your endurance. You don't train for a marathon by running a marathon the first day. Just start taking the action and having quality conversation. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is 4 main things. All right. Every conversation you have with a property owner comes down to 4 things. We call them the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying: the condition of the property, their timeline to sell that property, their motivation to sell that property, and their price. And listen, I don't want you to go like into this cold and just, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump in here. We have so many videos on this channel on exactly what to say, on breaking down actual calls. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because we literally break down calls and show you how to be really, really, really good on the phone. Because I get it. It's scary at first. It's awkward at first. We're not trained in 3rd grade to just start picking up the phone and making calls. And all of a sudden, by the time we're an adult, we're like totally comfortable with it. I totally understand. And use a script. We have had the most effective cold calling script of all time. We set the gold standard. You get it absolutely free at ttpinsider.com. You have the script in front of you. Because the fact is, when you call somebody up and you ask them if they would consider an offer on their property, there's only 6 responses. Yes, they do want to sell. No, they don't want to sell. Maybe in the future they will. How much will you give me for my house right now? Who are you and how'd you get my number? There's only 6 responses. So if you feel comfortable understanding how to respond to those responses, you are going to be unstoppable on the phone. You don't have to just go into this cold. Get the script, understand that everything breaks down to condition, timeline, motivation, price. So you've got the skeleton of every single conversation that you have with the property owner, and you will feel confident and you will win. All right. So let me do this. Let me break down exactly the numbers to expect. So you know, how many people do I have to talk to? How many do I have to call? How long does it take? How do I know if I'm making progress? I'm going to show you right now. Remember these numbers: 221, 200 contacts with the actual owner, 200 quality conversations with the actual owners of these properties. All right, that's where you're finding out the condition, the timeline, the motivation, the price. And you should get 20 leads, right? 1 out of 10. After talking to 10 people, there should be 1 in there that would consider an offer on their property. And from that, you should close 1 deal. 19 of these people are going to be too high on their price, or they're not ready to sell for a long time. They're just curious about what you would offer them. 1 will be serious and 1 you will close. These are the numbers. Listen, I've coached over 2,000 people personally around the country. Look at all the numbers, and these are the numbers. This is the breakdown. You don't have to overcomplicate this. So 1 deal equals $15,000. What if you wanted to do 1 deal a month and make $180,000 this year? You have to talk to 200 people in a month? That's 50 people a week. That's 10 people a day to be in the top 5% income earners in this country. That's absolutely bananas. I am telling you, you stay consistent and you work with these numbers and you find ugly properties and you get their phone number and you have a quality conversation with them. This is what you can expect. How incredible is that? I know you could do this. This is the most incredible business of all time. There's a famous quote by Dolph DeRoos, an incredible real estate investor and developer, that says, "The deal of a lifetime comes around about once a week." And it's absolutely true. So go out and find it. Not only that, find 2 a week, find 3 a week, find 4 a week. People are doing it all across the country. Why not you? You got this. So let's recap the 3 steps. Number 1, find ugly houses. Step 2, get the phone number for the owner of those properties. And step 3 is have a quality conversation with those property owners. And of course, step 4 is subscribe to this channel. And step 5, join us live 3 times a week on this channel for question and answers that you're dealing with as you're going through this process. I'd love to talk to you. Love you.